Hi guys, it's Morgan, and it's the first day of BroadwayCon 2022.
Especially just the beginning, no one wants to be the first.
There's a lot of additional styles that just don't fit. So if you wanted to move you around and kind of browse through that too.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll text you the phone.
We're here with real human people, not people on the screen, human people. Human people dressed as phantoms. Human people dressed as cats. Human people dressed as man-eating plants. Human people who can turn any moment, any conversation into an excuse to break into show tunes. You people. We are so lucky that we no longer have to be waving through a window. Oh, let's see what I did there.
We get together here, so we're so happy that you're here and that you're being as safe as is possible and that we are going to get back from all of this craziness together and have a wonderful weekend. That's all I got.
I actually got to speak to Jaquina recently on, plug time, my podcast, the BroadwayCast with Ben Cameron. Go on Spotify and subscribe right now. But we talked right before the Tonys happened. Let me first ask you about that night. Do you remember anything?
Nothing.
Not one thing. Just totally gone. But what was the feeling in the building as you performed that piece?
Oh my goodness, I think the energy, my first year I went was the year before, but it was at the Winter Garden, so this was my first time back in Radio City, and seeing everybody, 6,000 people in that audience, we felt that energy, and my cast and I, right before we went on, we were like, all right, let's go. We're just gonna have to give it to them, let's go, and it was so much fun. I just remember just feeling all of that love and energy and support flowing at us at that rate. It was crazy.
And then you run really fast and
Yes.
change into your fabulous outfit.
Yep,
and
change my hair.
Change your hair, and get on stage. All right, tell me just quickly, how does it feel to be part of Broadway's return and to be part of how Broadway is moving forward and changing and evolving?
It feels incredible. I mean, these 2 years were hard. I'm a person who, I love telling stories, and so to not be able to do that, I mean, there's nothing better than I think theater and performing and feeling the energy of the audience and going through that story. So to not be able to do that was just heartbreaking, but to be back in this season where there's so many incredible artists and shows to see is really exciting. And everybody's coming back and it's just so much love and support. I'm really excited about that. And all of the new stories that are being told and the way that our community is changing and it's more inclusive and just all of the opportunities for everyone, right? To tell all of the stories because there are so many stories to tell. So I'm excited.
Gee, I hope to see you looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelet swords doesn't sell, baby. Till that lucky day, you know darn well, baby, I can't give you anything but love.
time. We always say that BroadwayCon is for Broadway's biggest fans, and she is absolutely Broadway's biggest fan and champion. Through her decades of work as an attorney, First Lady, U.S. Senator, and Secretary of State, she has done more than rise through the ranks of power. She has presented an inspiring example of indomitability, grace under unimaginable circumstances, and strength through collaboration and service. For us here at BroadwayCon, she reminds us that there is something valuable and important in what we all do here as a community, gathering during these precious weekends, that we are better and even stronger together. It is my distinct pleasure and one of the great honors of my life to introduce Secretary Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Broadway shut down that Wednesday, and that Monday is when the Prime Minister got on and said that we're closing everything. And the British theater barely ever shuts down, even through World War II. I think they were like the last one standing. So it was devastating and traumatic and unfortunate. And then I came home and got COVID, along with the rest of the cast members who were, all infected, which we didn't realize until we, disbanded. And then, it was 2 years of talking about art, 2 years of making art from your home on Zoom. I did The Best Man. Michael Wilson directed that via Zoom. So we, which was put together beautifully. Right before I go, another play that I did via Zoom. I sang concerts, LaShawne's as well. You make it happen because of the circumstances and the art, which is so important to communicate.
Some of our fancy friends, I call them, in theater, our black acting fancy friends, they come together and create this organization that can be a unified voice for change. And really add to the diversity of our industry. Not only on stage, we have lots of diversity on stage, but backstage and in the crew, in the pit, and other areas, we felt we wanted to increase the diversity. So we got together and Audra McDonald called me and said, we have to do something. Here's a list of friends. You call yours, I'll call mine. And that's exactly what we did. And the next night we had a Zoom, right, Vanessa? We got on
our weekly Zooms every Sunday.
Yep, during COVID, we would meet every Sunday and hash out what we wanted our organization to do. And we were able to come together. It took us about 6 months, but we were able to organize some of the leading professionals in theater and to come together and create what we call the New Deal, which is a document that we created that has a group of several sort of tenets that we're all agreeing to help diversify the industry.
I think that's so terrific. In Sondheim and Sondheim, James had done a series of interviews with him, and we would come out and sing whatever song was pertinent to what he was talking about. And he used his life in, writers write what you know. One of our most powerful moments in Sondheim and Sondheim was when Steve is interviewed about his mother. And he talked about, he got a hand-delivered letter from his mother who was about to go in for heart surgery. And the first line was, the only regret I have in my life is giving you birth. And the audience gasps. And then the rotating stage turns around and you hear us saying, careful the things you say, children will listen. And all of a sudden you go, oh my God. He changed and converted his pain and his misunderstanding into art. And at that moment that he says in the interview, he says from that moment on, he knew that it wasn't personal. She didn't want me around because she had other dreams. So to be able to detach yourself from what's happening in your life, turn it into art, and make it meaningful across all sorts of endless boundaries is what his true gift was. I mean, every time you hear a Sondheim, well, not every time, but it makes you tear up because there is some bit of truth into not a day goes by. If you've lost anybody, you know that, and that's what you say to yourself. Not a day goes by that I don't think about my father who died at 70. he connects to those small or big emotions in life that you can tap into on a daily basis. So, and he had a wonderful sense of humor, very shy. Every time I would see him, I'd tap him on the shoulder and say, "Hi, it's Vanessa Williams," and hello, Vanessa Williams. And it was just, always surrounded by beautiful boys, always. And didn't find love until he was in his 70s, late in life. Yeah, but it happened. But it was just one of those wonderful relationships that I cherish, and I was so happy to be able to continue his work, which is his music and his lyrics and his impression on what he did to the world. So I feel very lucky.
Steve, other than my husband and my father, has probably been the most important man in my life. And he also, I will add one thing before I become far too long-winded, which I'm notorious for. There was a day that we were performing previews, and the show was a show that, this is passion I'm talking about, the character was hard to, for a lot of people, she was hard to tolerate, and I understand, sort of. It was my job not to understand as well for her, but anyway, it was a rough night with audiences applauding when I collapsed on stage and hoping I would fall through and she'd never come back. And I came off, and Steve was waiting in the stairway that led to a bunch of dressing rooms, and he said, hey, are you having some fun? And I was like, well, Steve, it's so meaningful. It's the greatest challenge and the most meaningful job of my life, and to be doing. And he said, no. Are you enjoying yourself? And I was like, yeah. And he said, no. This is important. You must find the joy in this. He said, you don't always have this kind of a connection with a role, and I know it means a lot to you, and it means a lot to me, and I know the connection you feel. And he said, regardless of what you think is happening out there in the audience, if as an artist you don't allow yourself the joy of each moment, each challenge, you're wasting an opportunity. And I thought, if some happy-go-lucky director or pal was saying, hey, relax, just enjoy it. But it was Steve, who I knew was so hard on himself and saw the world in a complicated, nuanced way. So there was no one better to give me that message and to make me really own it, Okay, I'm sorry I spoke so long, but I love it.
When life gives you lemons, when life gives you lemons, when life gives you lemons, you gotta go out, you gotta go out and steal some apples, 'cause who the fuck wants you better hustle hard, you better muscle through so you can make a shitty life better. With opportunity knocks, with possibility comes, take the bull by the horns, grab right by the balls. You gotta seize those balls, squeeze those balls, so you can make a shitty life better. But I've been here before. Have I come back for more? Another chapter in the history of wrong, guys. You used to be so I lived like Gustavo, but now you're changing into someone I just can't ignore. Honestly, I've been hurt like this before. Is there really more to you than what I always thought? How can you surprise me anymore? Oh, he's got a girlfriend, you knob. But when you're the enemy of Hallie McAndrews, you don't obsess over lip gloss. When you're the enemy of Hallie McAndrews, you use the brain in your head, so drown out the tube squats of selfies and oh my gods. When you're the enemy of Hallie McAndrews, you'll find your way and you'll be okay. We'll be okay. When you're the enemy, na 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 na. When you're the enemy, na 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 na. When you're the enemy, na 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 na. When you're the enemy.
A century apart, the American dream has not changed. That's why we're in so much trouble. We're trying to achieve something that no longer exists. The lessons you will learn from witnessing Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman is going to rock your boat. Because, as Wendell said, in terms of being able to achieve this feat on a nightly basis, you have to push that rock up to the top of the hill, and then it falls down the other side. You have to walk around, push it up this. If we don't learn how to deal, another concept that Wendell introduced, if we do not learn how to deal with our shadows, it's the one thing that we live with all the time, whether you see it or not. No one can separate himself, herself, themselves from their shadows. During the pandemic, because the universe noticed that we had broken our covenant to be good husbands to the earth, that's what it means to subdue the earth. It doesn't mean to assault it. It doesn't mean to rape it. It doesn't mean to abuse it. It means to collaborate with it in growing. We violated that covenant. But the universe is giving us another chance. And we still ignored it. So now, you're going to have to come to one of the 3 places of healing that still exists in this world: the church, the temple, and the theater.
Keep my fingers crossed the way I've been going
would say, like, one moment in the show that means something to me is Sympathetic Ear, because for me, like, it directly relates to my Blackness and my transness and genderqueerness, and so that's a moment where I feel like I can really sit in myself and sit in my journey and mean what I say in a different way. And then backstage, I love mingling and messing around, arguing about the pop culture and times.
Very pointed, very pointed.
Every day. I just like the community aspect of these beautiful Black queer people all together, dwelling together, messing around together, and then creating art with one another, having some thread of similarity in our lives, but also so different.
And then Jam does a dance class during today, a ballet class upstage right, which is super fun as well.
A dance class?
I teach a ballet class upstage right backstage during today.
Do we get to put you on the spot?
I mean, we can do a tongue
Yeah.
and then we do beautiful positions, and then we do across the floor.
Love that. Give it up for. Oh my gosh. We just have ballet before.
It's extremely important. And I dream of the day that our being in this space is not enough. I dream of the day that us simply being on stage is not enough, that we actually have more lenses that reflect the different queer identities that are on the space.
I think it's also just a political act that on our marquee it says queer, big, Black, and queer. In a time when they're saying don't say gay, and laws like that are being passed, that we just have those words on a marquee on Broadway are hugely important. And then, we know what it means for us, but then when we go out and we meet people and people come up to us in tears and go, thank you, or I felt seen, that kind of like reminds me, at least, why I do this every day. So on a 2-show Saturday when I'm exhausted, I'm like, there is some queer Black person who needs to see the show and needs to heal or find themselves in this. So, all right.
Love that. I think for me as a stage manager, it was sort of an earth-shattering moment for me because when Aaron asked, I was like, well, duh. But that first day of rehearsal at Woolly, at the end of the day, I just had a full emotional breakdown because it was the first time in my career I'd ever been in a space that reflected myself. And this is the second show I've ever worked on with an all-Black cast. And so it's not just about how we're representing ourselves on the stage, but what does backstage look like? Who are the people around the cast that has the ability to support and make change and make decisions? Are they also reflecting these similar identities? And so it's really important that we start looking beyond the veil, if you will, to what's happening behind us. And so, yeah.
Demi-plie, just something to get the blood flowing through the legs, and let's hear that next gorgeous sound clip.
You think, what do you want? You think, make a decision.
You know what's interesting about that? Is Leslie's bell rang, but her face remained blank. Ray's face lit up, but the bell didn't happen. Let's see how it pans out. Leslie?
Yes. Into the Woods.
Yes.
Kim Criswell as Cinderella.
No, but...
And the name of the song, famous song?
Yeah.
Oh.
Feel it.
Steal, baby, steal.
On the steps of the palace.
That's right.
But I don't know the name of the actress. But it is a...
Okay, I'll give you some clues.
This was a revival.
Laura Benanti.
It's Laura Benanti.
I so gave that to Ray.
Oh my gosh. Ready? Set, 30 seconds, begins. This is chaos. Now!
Okay, the usher led me down the aisle, and I saw in advance where I was going to be sitting, and oh my god, I started sweating. I'm like, oh my god, do I ask for an autograph? Oh, but I was at the greatest thing I ever wanted to see in my life, and it was like this great theater, and this show I wanted to see, and right there! Oh my god, what do I do? Do I say something? Do I tell them how great they are?
No, sitting next to it.
Sitting?
All right, there's the sound. Now, if I understood the rules correctly, each of you get one guess, and if any of those guesses are correct, you get the point. So, Leslie, go ahead and make a guess.
Seated next to a celebrity. A Broadway celebrity.
That's correct! Absolutely! That's it! A dime for this, you know what I'm saying? All right, Mars Rucker, 30 seconds begins now.
Okay, we're going to. Pick me up! Like, really pick me up! Pick me! Carry me! Pick me up! Fierceness! Oh! You're not picking me up! Well.
I have a guess. That was speed dating. Pick me up! Pick me up, okay. No, but for realties. Leslie?
Doing a lift on stage and your partner isn't good.
Yes! Absolutely, yeah. I got you, absolutely. Oh, this is fun. Oh, this is for me, yeah. For you, I don't know. All right, Leslie Margarita, this is the role you were born to play right here. And 30 seconds begins now.
For me! Do you have a camera? Is that a flash? Put that down! Put it down! I'm not gonna stay up here and do this! People pay to see this! Put your camera away!
Yes, bow down to the Queen. Well, I think that we probably have some good guesses. Yeah. Mars, you want to jump in there?
Patty LaPone. Chris.
Huh?
Raise my salary.
Yes, tale as old as time.
This happens daily.
Yeah, good. All right. Ever, this is for all people. And the seconds don't matter, hit it.
Okay. Yeah, okay, line up. Okay, here we go. And 9, great. And I am number 12 and 11.
An audition. A chorus line.
Not knowing the moves, not knowing the dance. On stage.
Any compliment audition.
Yeah. See, I come from the audition. All right, 30 seconds. Name as many shows that are currently running on Broadway. Go!
A Strange Loop, Paradise Square, 6, Beetlejuice, Music Man, Hades Town, Phantom of the Opera, Wicked, Hamilton, Lion King, Aladdin,
All right, but you know what? That was a very strong showing. Very, very strong. Very much. I would slay this one, but I'm not allowed to play.
This is gonna be bad.
All right. 30 seconds. List as many Andrew Lloyd Webber shows as you can. Ready? Your time starts now. Go.
Cats, Phantom, is chess one?
No, chess is not one.
It's not. I'm so bad at this. Cats,
That's right.
Phantom, I don't know. The Starlight one. Starlight Express. I said cats. They're giving me hints, and I'm bad at this. I apologize. I'm a Sondheim girl.
Oh. Well then, the judges would have also accepted by Jeeves aspects of love, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Jesus Christ Superstar, Cinderella. That's all right, that's all right. Broadway shows based on true stories or real people. Ready, set, go!
Parade, MJ, Tina, thank you. What are all the biopics? Carol King, beautiful. What are the other biopics? Evita, Hamilton. Leslie, keep giving her to me. 6, yeah. It's hard when you're up here trying to do it. Come From Away. Sideshow's real. That happened. Yeah, Come From Away. That was pretty good.
That was really good. When you have a shablam over here, we either have a shablam or a medical emergency. I can never tell the difference.
She did the worm.
All right, but now. Also, worth noting, Leslie Margarita is working with a broken foot. You are all sensational, by the way. So, that's a bonus 3 points to their team. We have so much more fun coming for you for the next couple of days here at BroadwayCon. I can't wait to see you all tomorrow. Enjoy the marketplace. Enjoy meeting new friends, make those connections that last a lifetime, and I'll see you back here on the main stage tomorrow. The BroadwayCon event again.